very impressed again with the week of practice we've had. We talk a lot around here about attitude, effort, toughness, and knowledge, and I think our kids have that. They know what they're doing, and Saturday we need to go out and execute. And that's the thing I've harped on. It's about executing. You can't make critical mistakes and shoot yourself in the foot against anybody in this country, or you won't end up on the right side of the win column. So. We've had a good week, and I can't wait to watch our guys go play Saturday at noon. Questions?
Yeah, do you see a time where Power 5 schools won't play FCS schools anymore?
There could be a time that comes. I don't think it's great for, some of the 1AAs or FCS. I don't think it's great for them. I think they need it. I think it's good for college football. However, if they go to 12-team playoffs and all those that talk goes, if the conferences become larger, Jerry, I think that's a possibility for sure. Where you get to a 10-team conference, schedule. So, not worried about that right now.
I know you're not worried about stuff like that.
Yeah.
How would your Rhode Island team have done against the Power 5 school?
We'll find out in a couple of years, maybe. I don't know.
No, the one you played for.
Back then, I haven't watched them for a while. Again, I think I mentioned this to somebody. I really believe, when you look at Mid-America, New Hampshire's a good football team. I think they're capable of beating anybody on any given day. And again, I always felt this when I played there, felt this when I coached there for sure, because I was at Miami of Ohio and then left there as a receiver coach to go be the D-line coach. It is good football. And to me, in the Midwest, you have, in the state of Ohio, you got Kent State, Akron, Toledo, Ohio U, Miami, Kent State, if I didn't say them already. There's so many teams. You got Northern Illinois. There's so many, Mid-American Conference schools in the Midwest. And up east, there's BC, there's Rutgers, and then, there's a lot of people up there. So there are kids that get lost up there. And to me, that whole conference, when you think about James Madison and Delaware, maybe two of the bigger schools, the better schools in that conference and in that area, those are like Mid-American Conference schools, in my opinion. There's no MAC schools up there. It used to be UMass, but they got out of the MAC. But to me, I thought that was a slam dunk for UMass, and they got out. But there's really good football players up there. They're everywhere. You know that. It doesn't matter if it's Florida, Texas, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's good football players everywhere. And, there's small pockets of good players up there, and New Hampshire's got quite a few of them.
In your experience in the double A, whether as a player or coach, how much do these guys get up for an opportunity against an FBS, a Power 5 opponent?
They will get up. They get to come play in Heinz Field. They will be excited to come in here, and we will get their best shot for sure. Just like we got UMass's best shot, I think, and just like we got Western Michigan's best shot. We're going to get, you're going to get people's best shots, period. And those are the things that, that you got to prepare for.
Pat, they've turned it over a bit, and Randy told us earlier this week that that's one of the emphasis in practice.
It's always the emphasis.
Well, what can you do more? How can you emphasize it more?
You can't emphasize it anymore. You guys got to go out and execute. It's part of the execution. Haba had a chance to maybe get one. In practice, sometimes you see a dropped interceptions. Like, that's the play of the game right there. You have to make those interceptions. You can't drop them. You only get so many opportunities. And, actually, when you look at the turnover ratio, they have been pretty good with the ball. They've been recipients of a lot of them. You look at some of their tight games this season, they've won the turnover ratio in their 3 games and their 3-0 start. They have not lost it. Quarterback's been good with the ball. They haven't put it on the ground very much. And they've won games because they've won the turnover ratio. So we got to make sure we secure the ball and don't make those mistakes. And we got to make sure defensively trying to get them. That's a difference in the Tennessee game, and those are differences in every game. If a team can go through and come into Heinz Field, not turn the ball over us, they got a chance to win. If we turn it over, we got a chance to lose, and vice versa. So
Phil Campbell talked to us about you guys want to improve on third down defense. How much focus have you guys put into winning situational football, to improve your chances in those spots?
Yeah, we do every week. We haven't changed what we do. Third down's important. This week we have 2 what we call ACC periods. On Tuesday we had an ACC period. It was a kind of a P&10 play ball. It was a 5-play set, ones versus ones, and it's really starting fast. Let's go. And our offense went right down the field. It's like, that's what I want to see Saturday. And then on the other side, third down. I mean, we had, again, what we call money down, and we just got a period of that, again, ones-on-ones. Try to give the offense and the defense similar looks to what they may see on game day based on what, similar defenses we have. So it's always a focus. I mean, it doesn't matter what happens on first and second down. Third down's pretty important, whether it's third and short and third medium, third long.
Along those lines, when you talk about third down, it seems like you always used, on your third down package, 5 defensive backs. You bring in an extra safety. This year, it looks like you're bringing in a 4th linebacker. Is that just a change for this year? Is it because Patrician used to be a safety? What kind of went into that?
Yeah, it's a change for this year. We're always going to try to put our best 11 players on the field. That's what it comes down to. And Rashad Battle has gotten good at it. I think Rashad Battle could be really good. He's our backup star right now. But John's just been good. I mean, he's a good blitzer. I think sometimes when you get a nickel back in there, sometimes he might be a better athlete, but maybe not as good a cover guy. Or excuse me, he might be a good cover guy, not as good a blitzer. We think Johnny's got the ability to be a really good cover guy for underneath stuff that you're asking him to do. And there's a lot of knowledge that carries over from base defense to our third down package. So he's been good in that package, and obviously he'll be gone next year, and I would almost guarantee it'll be a DB next year. But and I think Rashad Battle has the ability to blitz as well. So being able to blitz that guy from the field is a major advantage. If he's not a good blitzer, you tend not to blitz that guy because he's not one of the best guys to get to the quarterback. So when you got Phil Campbell on one side and John Patrician on the other, it's a little bit different.
Pat, you mentioned the time of possession on Monday. I mean, your offense is scoring a lot of points. Is it too much to ask them to say,
Yes.
you have 44 points and you need to have the ball more too?
If you look historically back through, who we've been as an offense, we pretty much win the time possession, whether we run it or pass it. And I've never been around too many passing teams that throw the ball like we do that still win the time possession. We dink you down the field and win the time possession. So that was a weird game where we just, scored quickly and needed to get the ball back, and we didn't. But I'll tell you an old story. Gene DeFilippo was my dad's offense coordinator years ago, and they played Delaware in 1979 at home, and it was a shootout with Bruner as the quarterback, and I think it was Keith Snoddy, the quarterback for us, and Bruner for Delaware, and we lost the game. And Gene DeFilippo, since Dad has passed, former AD at Boston College, always tells the stories like, I'll never forget when your dad told me to don't score so fast, okay? Because like, Pat, what am I supposed to do, And my dad told him not to score so fast, and then 2 seconds later, we score, and then Delaware got the last possession, went down and scored and won the game. So what are you going to do? I want him to score, and I don't care how fast or how slow it is, just get in the end zone.
But you haven't told Coach Wood not to score so fast.
No, I don't want to do that.
Pat, how do you balance, you've talked about wanting to emphasize the run game and making that better, but you guys are a top 10 offense right now with the way that you're scoring. How do you keep that pace, but also try to work to improve that while the passing game is good?
We got to execute. We got to execute. It's like when I watch a videotape and I see one guy turn. All it takes is one guy not to block his guy, and that's the thing about offense. I mean, you can talk about the O-line, you can talk about tight ends, you can talk about receiver down the field, but you have to all be in sync together, and you can't turn a guy loose. So the key is to get a hat on a hat, get your blocks. You're accountable to each other, and we all got to play for each other, and we all got to make those blocks. And it does not work. And it's the same thing on defense. Everybody can do the job except one guy, and you got a big play. So that's why I kind of start off saying it's about execution, and we know what to do. We got good players, and I got a lot of trust and faith in our kids. So execute, and we got to be together. It takes 11.
With how senior your offensive line is, with so many guys with experience, are you surprised that 3 games in that you guys aren't clicking the way you should be?
A little bit in the run game, yeah. I'm a little surprised. And it's football, and there's always going to be surprising things. So we just got to get better at it. We will.
Which look on the offensive line you like better, the one that started the game or the one that ended the game? The first personnel look, I mean.
What are you talking about? I like the ones that score touchdowns. I don't like the
both
three.
of them
I don't like the
score
3 and out
touchdowns.
start. I don't like the 3 and out start. So I like touchdowns, and so I like the guys are out there scoring touchdowns.
How did Cradle do at center?
He did good. We got a lot. He's got a lot of reps at that position. So we got faith. We have to put him in there at that position.
Looking back, I think it was maybe 20 plus years ago or so. Back in '99, you were calling plays for Rhode Island, playing against New Hampshire. New Hampshire's offensive coordinator at the time was Chip Kelly. What was that game like? What was that experience like going up against that offense in the early stages?
It was a long time ago. I thought about it. They had Jerry Azuma. And again, I couldn't tell you what they ran. matter of fact, I think they had a Steeler there. Kreider, didn't he play for the Steelers?
Dan Kreider.
Dan Kreider, big fullback. He was a dude. I mean, they like I said, there's two right there. And Zuma played for the Chicago Bears for a long time, and he was maybe an early draft choice. He was fast. So, at that time, Chip Kelly wasn't really as fast as he was. I mean, that tempo was after he left New Hampshire and went to Oregon. But they were still touted and very creative. He's always been a creative guy. And, Sham's part of that staff as well. So they do a great job coaching.
And I know you said you quit guessing of knowing during the week whether the team is ready. Will you do anything different Saturday? Like, what's the message right before kick? Or will you change anything up?
Just the message is there's got to be a lot of energy. And, that was the message last week as well. Do you have that same, if you don't have the energy, you better have the execution. If you have energy and execution, it's going to be a heck of a day. So we got to bring our A game every Saturday. We got to learn how to do that consistently. That's what good football teams do. So championship teams bring energy, bring emotion. They play with passion, and they execute at the same time.
Have you seen the Eagles committee? Have you seen them kind of up any energy this week to kind of push the younger guys around the team?
Again, the energy's been there. I mean, during the week you don't notice it. I mean, there's not a lot of hooting and hollering during practice. I mean, they're focused and blocking, and it's just different when you're going against scout teams every day, and then you got to go out and play the real guys. So that's you can't go ones on ones, and neither one of us get a good look at what we're doing. So the energy's been good during practice, but game days are different too.
What have you thought of the kicking game through 3 games in all 3 elements: punt, kick, and kickoff?
It's been probably average at best, in my opinion. We've missed 2 extra points just looking at the field goal team. We've had a block punt, which comes down to just executing. It should be none of those. Kirk was inconsistent. Kirk's been good for 2 weeks, but I think anytime you get a block punt, you start to thinking, what is Kirk worried about? Like, is Richie going to block for me? If Richie doesn't do his job, we got issues. And so you start thinking, and same thing. Everybody's got to do their job. Kirk's got to go out and worry about punting. I expect to see a Ray Guy type punt out of him this week as far as the punting game goes. And then kickoff, we've been solid, I think. Again, we got some young guys on there that are getting better. And kickoff return, we've had our stumbles in Tennessee and overcame them in that game. And we've got some different returners back there. And like I said, I still think Barden would be really good. Just the big game maybe a little bit too much for him, but we'll just continue to get better, I think.
Are you pleased with Sam place kicking right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like missed extra points. He's been, good on the field goal, so we'll continue to adjust and get better. And he's had a good week this week. And again, what happens in Heinz Field when the lights go on are the key. So we'll kick as we need to.
You like that fair catch rule on kickoffs, don't you?
Not really. I really think when you think about it, I mean, the fair catch is it depends on where the ball's kicked to. It depends on where your return is. I look at the NFL. There's, and I don't know what the percentage of returns in the NFL are, but there's going to be a lot of these, and the kickers are so good, and their kickers kicking in the end zone at least half the time. Then we're wasting time. Let's just put the ball to 25 and play football. However, when you look at the NFL where they don't get a 5-yard running start and they're not getting down there as quick, there's been probably more returns in the NFL, I think. Which I think what they've done to the kickoff, they always handcuff the defense. The guys that got to tackle someone because everybody wants to see running and RPOs and they want to see kickoff returns be played.
And I know we've asked you about Lucas, but it's now 3 games in a row with a touchdown. How much more is there? Like, are there's still improvements in his game, still rust that he's knocking off?
Yeah, I think there's I don't know if I call it rust, but just the complete player. I like what he's doing in the passing game. I still like to see more in the run game. I still like to see him be dominant, finish blocks, have a couple pancake blocks. That to me is when he becomes dominant. He's doing a good job of me catching some tough passes and some, he's a big target, and he's been a nice weapon for Kenny.
Last week you said that Izzy had a problem on Wednesday, but he was great on Thursday, and then he didn't play on Saturday. How does the week go this week?
Week went good. Izzy had a day of practice he didn't make. Okay, again, it was because he was sick. So you're still dealing with that stuff. No COVID or anything like that. But so he just missed a day of practice. And like I said, as the game went, you felt like you were playing behind. You just wanted to go with your big dog. But I expect to rotate those guys heavily this week, and I expect Izzy to get his opportunity to show what he's got.
When you have a game like you did it with your defense, where it seemed like they were able to exploit some things. How much do you worry about other teams kind of trying to use that as a blueprint going forward?
Well, you're busy practicing, New Hampshire's offense and all the things they do, and they do a lot out of probably 6 or 7 personnel groupings. And then you're working stuff that hurt you the week before to get better at it. And, that's all part of every week, if you put it on tape and you show a weakness in something, that you're going to see it the next week. And I will go back, that quarterback he was on fire. And I watched some other guys do it during the week, whether it's Clemson or anybody else on video that I've watched. He was on fire, and like I said, you got to give guys credit. We got to adjust better, and we got to take care of it.
But
and we will.
That's part of the weekly schedule, though. Is like, all right, for this hour, we're just going to look at things we did wrong and how other teams.
Yeah, you
can try to
self-scout
attack it.
yourself. I mean, it's really not. It's not an hour a day. It's Sunday. You're looking at it and going, okay, we know we're going to see this again. And in that little RPO, we call it a slash route. It's kind of a halfway between a slant and a skinny post. It's like in vogue right now. It's like the new thing. We used to see a lot of what we call jet routes, speed outs, but we're seeing a little bit inside cuts and outside cuts, which just makes it a little bit harder. So we just got to clean it up, and we know it's a weakness, and that's our job as coaches to fix the weakness, and we will fix that. And again, like I said, Howard, he's on it. It's a catch and tackle, and then what happens is guys are starting to go, what's going on? So then now they start running up the field thinking I got to get pressure on the quarterback, so he can't do that. But it's an RPO, and then all of a sudden then you let runs go out. But we all got to play together. We can't have one guy play the pass and then the runs pop. And again, anytime you make an offense, let an offense be two-dimensional, you got problems. That's why I always stress, and since I've gotten here, since I've gotten into coaching, is you better stop the run. And when someone is two-dimensional, like they were last week, you're going to have problems. So we better stop the run.
Anything final?
Any P and 10 questions?
You answered for me. I'm good now.
Good. Rich, you got